Well, let's get an idea of how all of this is being seen in Hong Kong. Joining us from there is Andrew Leung, a business consultant in the territory, who's been critical of the pro-democracy demonstrators. Andrew, I just wonder, in terms of the interventions in what's going on in Hong Kong, what to you seems to be more welcome there, the interventions by China or the interventions by the UK?
Well, I think that there's a bit of rhetoric on both sides. As everybody would observe, over the years, Hong Kong's one country, two system actually is internationally regarded as holding reasonably well. But on the other hand, during recent decades, there is a perception in Hong Kong, especially amongst the younger people, that the place is tilting more towards the one country rather than the two systems. Now, as far as the demonstrations are concerned, for example, the first march of nearly 1 million people was an example to the world in how peaceful marches were allowed in Hong Kong and will continue to be allowed and marching peacefully. But then there are examples of extreme violence at the front end are unlikely to be accepted by civil society anywhere in the world, least of all in Hong Kong, because the rule of law is treasured as internationally respected in Hong Kong, and especially the example of extreme violence and wanton destruction at the heart of Hong Kong's administration. The Legislative Council chamber itself has pointed out that no other countries, including the UK, would allow these things to happen without enforcing law and order. But I think that this highlights the contradictions of the one country, two systems. There are plenty of safeguards for the two systems under the Hong Kong's constitution, which is the basic law, which derive from the Joint Declaration.
I just want to get your thoughts on something, because as a business consultant, presumably you advise businesses who may be wanting to have a presence in Hong Kong. What do you think is doing more damage to Hong Kong's reputation as a good place to do business? Is it the scenes that we've witnessed, the protests on the streets and the ransacking of the Legislative Council, or is the proposed extradition law more damaging to Hong Kong as a desirable place to do business?
Well, it's a bit of everything, because obviously the business community would not welcome a disorderly situation, a situation where it's chaotic, whereas the end justifies the means. I mean, whereas the aspirations and anxiety and anger of the young people in Hong Kong are to be understood, and it's understood in Hong Kong by the Hong Kong government, as indeed in Beijing. But no one wants a disorderly, kind of chaotic kind of situation to prevail.
So just very briefly, how should this all be resolved?
I think both in the medium and the medium term and the long term. The immediate term, of course, is to restore law and order, because no government can function this way. In fact, a lot of the processes have been paralyzed. In the medium term, of course, perhaps during the remainder of the term of the current chief executive, is to concentrate on livelihood issues away from the more controversial political kind of challenges. But then in the long term, the whole thing can only be resolved by, as I was trying to highlight, addressing the contradictions between the one country and the two systems. And for Beijing, the lack of a security insurance policy is still missing. I'm referring to the Article 23 on sedition and also subversion. It's already included, is stipulated in the basic law in the Joint Declaration. But on the other hand, a more liberal package for universal suffrage must also be allowed. And the two things can be lumped together and passed together.
Andrew, thank you very much.